There we go. Fantastic. The things you can do with Nvidia at Computex. Computex 2024. We're at the Nvidia press briefing suites. And I have my friends here. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Jesse Clayton. I'm the product manager for PC AI.
Very nice. So we're the right person to ask questions right now. And
Hi, I'm Kedar. I'm tech marketing for PC AI.
there we go. So we have a lot to discuss here about obviously AI. It's Computex AI 2024. And so where do we begin?
Fantastic. Well, we have 3 great demos that we have to show you here today. AI for content creation, AI for game modding, and AI for productivity.
We are in the right suite. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, well, let's get started with this here. And so this is a demo of Comfy UI. So Comfy UI is one of the most popular distributions of stable diffusion. You're familiar with stable diffusion?
Very much so. Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes. I love it.
Now, what's unique about Comfy UI is it enables you to chain together multiple AI models to create processing pipelines that result in some really interesting creations. And so, as a way to demonstrate this, we're going to turn you into a superhero today.
I'm already a superhero, but yeah,
That's
like
true,
some
you
upgraded
are.
powers.
Yeah, well, you
So,
need the
there we go.
costume, I think.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
so if we
let's
could
do
have
it.
you stand right here, we're going to take a picture.
How about this? We'll take the glasses off.
Okay. And so the camera's right
right
over
there?
here. Yeah. Okay, should be good.
All right.
Let me select the photo here. Okay, and while it's processing, I'll explain what's going on. There are actually 3 different AI models at work here. The first is image ID, which is extracting your face. The second is a control net, which is converting a 2D image to a depth map. It's feeding both of those plus the prompt into Stable Diffusion XL and generating these results here.
Okay.
And it's going to
That's
take
fantastic.
it's going to take about 20 minutes here, or excuse me, 20 seconds to generate these results. That's really important because if you ran this, say, on the fastest Mac, it would take you more than 2 minutes. And as a content creator, you want to iterate and tune to get the result that you're looking for.
Yeah, the workflow.
Exactly. So that iteration time becomes very long if you're waiting 2 minutes every time.
Very true. So I can tell it's AI because my arms here are a little small. Like realistically, I'm a little thicker than that.
That's
but,
right.
you know.
Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
like maybe you missed arm day here.
Yes, I did. Barely. But yeah, that is fantastic. And I love what it did with the hair here. And then I'm always kind of looking at hands. It seems like AI always struggles with hands.
That's definitely an
Yeah.
area that it struggles with. And you'll see there are some mistakes
this
here. I
looks
think
okay.
there's some more
This one, yeah, okay.
research to be done.
I guess the only weird one is that one. So out of all of these, that's the only, So that's a great improvement. Because I remember 6 months ago, like they would have been doing all kinds of weirdness.
Yeah.
But that is fantastic.
Well, and Stable Diffusion XL is a pretty sophisticated model. We find that it generates really some of the best results for this class of technology. Yeah,
and this is what a RTX 40.
So this is all running locally on an RTX 4090.
Okay.
And the announcement at Computex is that Comfy UI is now RTX accelerated, meaning it's using NVIDIA's fastest AI inference path, which is TensorRT. It's running on the Tensor cores here in the RTX 4090.
Very nice. Okay, so if you guys have a 4090 at home, you can do this. This is fantastic.
And it works with other GPUs too, so you can do RTX 4080, 4070.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I was thinking go big or go home. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where you start, right?
Exactly.
One of our favorite ways to use AI in content creation is for modding games. And so RTX Remix is a tool for game modders that we launched last year. And this enables modders to remaster classic game content using AI to create upscaled resolution textures, physically based materials, and then push into the runtime, which will path trace all the lights and use DLSS 3.5 to accelerate the rendering. So you're getting really high resolution, a really detailed, fast, responsive result. Now, an example that we're using to show the utility of this REST API is we've connected RTX Remix to Comfy UI, which we just saw a moment ago. What this enables game modders to do is remaster entire scenes using just a text prompt.
Oh, really?
And so we've selected a texture here from Portal. Here we have a prompt that we're going to use to generate a new texture and physically based material.
So you have beautiful texture, detailed game texture, albedo, HQ. Steampunk, okay, rust, gears, clocks, and a little navy blue. All right, and negative, which I like this, you want to take this out of it, like ugly, nothing horrifying or blurry, shadows fake, dated, noisy, pixelated. Kits, what is that?
Kitsch.
Kitsch, okay, dense, all right. So that's kind of cool, a positive and a negative. So
That's right.
And then
Yeah.
you hit go and see what happens, right?
That's right. And a lot of this process really is coming up with the right prompt that really articulates exactly what you're looking for, generating the result, and see if this sort of matches your vision.
Okay.
Now, when we run this through the pipeline, it's going to use different AI models, again, in a pipeline to first generate the new texture, second, upscale the new texture, and then third, generate all of the albedo and displacement maps and all the other ones that are necessary to generate a physically based material. And so when that's complete, we can view the result over here in the renderer, or the viewport, right? And you can see this is clearly something new. This is not from the Portal universe. It's sort of a new kind of steampunk inspired, like we
And imported it in
described.
many different areas of the game.
Exactly, yeah. And so the same texture in Portal is replicated on different tiles here, and so that's why we're seeing it.
Wow.
And now we also can show you the full scene that we've remastered in this style here, and now it looks like a completely new game.
That really does. That is nice.
So yeah, we're really excited with this connection to Comfy UI, as well as the open source pieces that gives modders many more tools to just bring their creativity into these classic game mods. Here you're able to go through an iteration in about a minute and see what the result looks like, and then come up with an entire remaster quite quickly.
That's fantastic.
So ChatRTX is a tech demo from Nvidia that enables you to connect a large language model to your own personal data to enable interesting use cases like chatting with your data. So you're probably familiar with ChatGPT.
Yes.
So ChatGPT, of course, runs in the cloud, but there are some language models now that are small enough that they can run locally on device.
Okay.
One of the limitations of these pre-trained models is that they only know about the data that they were trained on. So they're not going to know about events that happened after the training was done, and they certainly don't know about your data that's stored locally on your own PC.
Right.
But with ChatRTX, we use a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, to connect the LLM to your own personal data to enable these kind of new interesting use cases. So let's take a look at how this works in action.
Okay.
So here we have Gemma, Llama 2, and Mistral as language models, and then Clip is another one that we'll come back to in a moment. Let's use Llama 2 for now. Here's where you select the folder on your PC where you're going to point it to the data that you want to connect it to.
So let's say I have a contract for a deal I'm working on, and it could just point it to that directory and
Yeah,
just read it. Okay.
great question. But before we do that, let's see what the model default behavior is. So if we don't connect it to data, what is the response that it gives? So we're going to ask it a question about a recent GeForce news announcement. As you see, it came back with a response that's entirely inaccurate. So this is all wrong. And the reason why it hallucinated this is because this announcement was done after the model was trained. So it just doesn't have this in its training data set.
Okay.
If instead we point it to a folder that contains a bunch of recent GeForce news articles and ask the same question, it comes back with a response that's accurate, it's succinct, and it's really fast because it's all running locally on the RTX 4090 in this PC.
Okay.
The example that you just mentioned, I think, is a great one because that's a sort of information that's private or proprietary. You don't want to upload that to the cloud because you don't want to lose control over it.
Exactly.
And so we actually have an employment document or an set of employment documents here, and we can ask questions like, go ahead.
When does my new job start?
So it comes back with the answer. It also gives you a link to the document where it found the answer, so you can go back and look at the response in context or look at the answer in context.
And for me, like being a content creator would be like, how many videos am I supposed to make at Computex 2024?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I love that.
Or if you're writing a lot of content, let's say you're writing a new piece of content and you know you've researched or written about this before, but you can't remember where you've written it. Instead of trying to search through all your old pieces, you could just upload them into ChatRTX and then just ask questions against your content.
That's very efficient. I like that.
We can also use image files. And so Clip is a model that can generate embeddings from images. And what that enables you to do is say, point it at a set of family pictures and search for themes or objects or things within those pictures.
Hiking pictures.
So this
Oh,
will
very
generate
nice.
all the images that it found that are associated with hiking. So these are the top matches. You can also see everything that it matched, and you can see they get sort of decreasingly relevant as you go through. It sort of orders them by how well they matched what the
Right.
prompt was. We can search for other things too. It's, this is AI, so you have to search for cats, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why the internet was made.
Exactly. And so ChatRTX, like I mentioned, is a tech demo that people can download from Nvidia.com right now. You
Very
need
nice.
an RTX 30 series or 40 series with at least 8 gigabytes of VRAM.
Okay.
It's also a developer reference project so that developers can see how to integrate this into their own applications or build on top of it. So it's completely open source.
Okay. So if you have a 30 series or 40 series RTX GPU by Nvidia, please go ahead and try this out and let me know what results you came up with that were interesting in the comments below. Yeah.
Nothing else to show in here, but
Okay.
what we wanted to talk about today was really AI for some interesting use cases in content creation, in game modding, and in productivity. With all the new techniques that are coming out, many of them fueled by generative AI, there's a lot of new opportunities that this opens up for users to take advantage of it in their everyday lives.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we have a lot more to show you with Computex 2024 with AI, and Nvidia is a major player in this here in Taipei, Taiwan. So thank you, and more to come.